so far today?
Yeah.
Before I get to the ritual character assassination of the groom that forms the basis of a traditional best man speech, I'd just like to take this opportunity to see how absolutely stunning Cath looks today.
Brilliant.
Gentlemen, you'll agree it's a very sad day for all single men around the world. And for you ladies out there today, just passed by without a ritual. Ladies and gentlemen, the traditional role of the best man speech is to respond to the groom on behalf of the bridesmaids. So with no bridesmaids, that's my job done. Thank you very much. Who am I kidding? I've only just begun. It was a great honour when Mark rang me up and asked me to be his best man. And in order for me to sort of get everything together and see what I had to do, I thought I'd go and look on the internet for a bit of research. I set out to search for information as to what I had to do for the day and get a few hints and tips, but any of you who use the internet often, it's quite easy to get sidetracked, especially when your wife's gone out. Anyway, after a few hours I got back to best man type of things. My research told me that the best man speech should involve some humorous, witty stories about the groom and when he's growing up. I was once at a wedding where the best man stood up and said that his groom was a man of such integrity that he didn't have any dirt and any racy stories to tell. Fortunately, that's not the case with Mark. Unfortunately, I've got so many, you might be waiting a hell of a long time for your dinner. Of course, I'm only joking. There are many stories, but I would say that 90% of them I'm unable to tell you because they're unfit for public consumption. So unfortunately, I can't tell you about the Bangkok ladyboys, and certainly there'll be none of the story of the sordid details with the sheep. But if you want to find out later, come and see me at the bar, that's fine. When I first met Mark, we were quiet, unassuming teenagers. Like I said, I was down in Thornbury, we met at school. Unfortunately, I didn't know Mark in his early years. Thankfully, Mark's parents, Chris and Julie, have given me quite a bit of ammunition. So, it's now, mate, sorry. From a very young age, Mark was quite an adventurous dresser. It was only Trini and Susanna around back in 1977 when, as a 2-year-old, with a little bit of help from his mum, Mark actually dressed up as a woman. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mark is a cross-dresser. I do have the photos here. They're very small, so we'll pass them around later on, but there you can see he's looking lovely in his little fetching bonnet. The problem is I don't think his fetish has stopped because Cat's often looking for her favourite undies.
Known as Martha.
In keeping with his adventurous nature, and at about the age of 6, Mark he set out one night and he wanted to do a bit of travelling. Like him and Darryl, then he tucked up in bed and they decided they were going to go on a bit of an adventure. So there they were, both hopped out of bed, got what they needed, got their torch, and they headed off to a direction of the stairs, off for freedom. Now, Julie went to bed later on, went upstairs to see if they were all asleep and nice and well, and panicked because they weren't there. And she spent a good half an hour trying to find them. In the end, got hold of Chris. Chris, I can't find the boys. I think they've done a runner. And it was at that time that they both snuck out of the porch because they were a bit scared they were going to get into trouble. So they weren't very adventurous. As I said, Mark and I met at school, and over the years our friendship has grown through the things that men love: beer, football, motor racing, being idiots, and of course women. There was one time at the Belgian Grand Prix a couple of years back where Mark and I had a few beers in the morning, we were a bit drunk, and this absolutely fantastically looking woman came towards us, dressed up head to toe in Ferrari gear. We were like, hey, really keep this Italian, absolutely stunning, we thought. So we spent the rest of the day just trying our wits and our charms, and wasn't going anywhere, blank face constantly. Only about 3 hours later it turned out she wasn't from Italy, she was from Manchester. We make absolute prats of ourselves. Oh well. Mark hasn't always had bad luck with the ladies though. In fact, Julie actually found Mark's very first Valentine's card.
From himself.
It says to Mark with lots of love, question mark. P.S. When you find out who I am, will you go out with me? Suspiciously, the handwriting does very little. It's not in biro. And it's also been recently brought to my attention that while I'm working in his old Safeway days, all the old checkout girls, they were always looking over at him. They could barely contain themselves when he was there playing with his meat. In his late teens, growing up in Thornbury, Mark soon discovered the pubs, and he also was part of the rugby club, so drunken antics were never far away. Back in the day, to us it was harmless fun. Today I think they call it antisocial behaviour. A few people probably got upset, especially when we were jumping over hedges on our way home, or trying to take out those plastic bollards in the middle of the road when we were wandering back. Things haven't really changed since he's got older, and no doubt after a few more beers he'll be showing some shapes on the dance floor. As well as playing rugby and of course drinking, Mark's had some strange hobbies in his years. During his mid-20s he took up kite flying. Something to, he was heading towards 30 and he didn't really want to grow up this gracefully. But unfortunately his following hobby after the kite flying has kind of let that down. And for any of you who've been to Marks and Caths, you've seen his heap of rust on the driveway in his Land Rover. I can honestly say that I've never ever seen him in it. I've never seen it move, and I don't know how they got it from Bristol up to Evesham. Mark and I have also been known to indulge in a few holidays. There was the typical 20s holiday when we went to Crete for a couple of weeks when we were younger. We've grown old a bit more gracefully, we went to the Red Sea for a few sensible holidays. And then of course there was the weekend that we went to Swindon. Oh sorry, that should be Sweden. For those of you who don't know, that's actually where Mark and Cath met. Mark only just made that trip because we were booking it earlier in the December before we went. Rang Mark up on Sunday, said, we're going for a weekend mate, want to come? Typical accountant, I don't think I can afford it. So in the end, we booked him on it and thankfully, he came along and look what happened. I remember it well actually, when Mark and Cath first met. Cath and Liz, his sister, were having a quiet beer. The three drunken fools walked into the Bishop's Arms, I believe it was called, in Stockholm. Stockholm drinking establishment. And straight away, in fact, there was only two girls in the bar, and right, we're moving in there, lads. So that was it, the scene set, isn't Cath having a beer? Three drunken lads out on the pool. What happened after that, I can't really tell you, because I got absolutely annihilated. I actually fell asleep in my dinner. And it was only the next morning that Liz and Clarky, the other guy who was with us, actually told me what had happened. And who would have thought, on that cold, sunny morning in Stockholm, the two lovers, saying their goodbyes, who would have thought that we were witnessing the start of a steamy affair that's lasted the distance when they were living apart, and here we are today at their wedding, and it's brilliant, absolutely fantastic to see. Well, I feel at this point it's my duty to offer a small piece of advice to the bride and groom. I've got to read this because it's quite interesting. Cath, remember that men are like fine wine. They start off like grapes, and it's your job to relentlessly stamp on them in the dark until they turn into something you'd like to have dinner with. And on the other hand, Mark, women are also like fine wine. They start out fresh, fruity, and intoxicating to the mind, and then turn full body with age before going all sour and vinegary, eventually giving you a They say that best man speech is the worst 5 minutes of the groom's day. Unfortunately for you, Mark, it's almost over. Unfortunately, Cath, your worst 5 minutes are probably happening tonight. I have got some cards and telegrams to go through. I'm not going to go through all of them, so there's only a couple here. Mark, all the very best for a happy marriage. That's from all the girls in management at the Banana Bar in Evesham. Unfortunately, one of our mates, Clark, is currently travelling at the moment. He also sends a pair of his best wishes, and unfortunately he's in Nicaragua or somewhere. Probably. Mark and Cath, congratulations on your wedding day. Wishing you all the best for your future happiness. Love from Carl, Ali, and there we go. There's so many now, so I'm not going to go through any more. I'd like to finish by saying what a great honour it's been to be best man today. So ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure, and not to mention relief, to invite you all to stand, raise your glasses and a toast to Mark and Cath, and you Mr. and Mrs. Price. I wish them well for the future and hope they enjoy a long and happy marriage. Mark and Cath. Mark and Cath.